Hi, everybody. It is Friday, April 15th, 2016. This is Radio Tokyo. I'm Jonathan, and that was our super special guest, the creepy Joker laugh from the Suicide Squad trailer. And, of course, conveniently, we'll be getting into the Squad trailer first. But, as always, gotta say hi to Nick, because for some strange, unknown, only to God reason, Nick is here. Hi, Nick. How are you?
It's to correct all of your wrong opinions.
Do what?
To fix all of your wrong opinions.
Oh, okay.
There are so many of them.
See, when I realized what you were saying, I thought at first you were going to say to protect the world from devastation, and then just bust into the Team Rocket thing, and that I was going to just have to just smack you.
No, no, that's only in your fantasy.
To protect the world from devastation, to unite all people within our nation.
Like Democracy Spring?
Oh, Democracy Spring. We can get to that in a minute. But since you brought up politics, I have a special clip followed by a special message. Are you ready for this, Nick?
Sure, why not?
Are you sure you're ready?
I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, just to preface this shit, you and I have talked about how we have some fairly progressive ideas, even though I'm still a Republican, and I'm supposed to be the party of dickbaggery to every. You know what? Party of dickbaggery is going to be this episode title because I think that'd be hilarious. But no, anyway, yeah, the Republicans have gone batshit insane, apparently. Um, I have a friend, she is
Haven't we
transgender.
already been batshit insane for a while now?
Oh, no, they've gone even worse. Apparently, every state that is now Republican held is trying to pass a law that says that transgender individuals have to pee in the restroom of their birth. And I'm like, just fucking stop. Please stop. I mean, come on now. It's like, look, we're the party that freed the slaves. Ho ho ho! Not the gays. No, not the gays. And we all know that the gays are apparently rapists and child molesters, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. I really don't. But in today's bag of uh like bunch of dickbaggery today, whatever you want to call it. Here is a clip from my congressman. This is someone I voted for, and I will not be voting for again. But keep in mind, I voted for this man because he was not saying this stupid bullshit at the time he first ran. Okay. Anyway, this is Louis Gohmert, and I am total uh full tilt white girl at this statement. So just Nick, are you ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my god. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, just deep breath here.
When it comes to uh, this current legislation, where in most of the world, in most of the religions, the major religions, uh, you have men and you have women, and there are some abnormalities. But for heaven's sake, I mean, I was as good a kid as you could have growing up. I never drank alcohol till I was legal. I never to still used an illegal drug. But I'm
now don't go. I don't want any confessions here now, Louis. Just keep.
But in the seventh grade, if the law had been that all I had to do was say I'm a girl and I got to go in the girls' restroom, I don't know if I could have withstood that temptation just to get educated back in those days. But there is a reason adults are in charge. We're supposed to act like adults. And it's just phenomenal. I've met one of the founders of PayPal, and I saw what you had said about businesses suffering or corporate world suffering from Stockholm syndrome. Perhaps that's it. But to be telling states that you have to let boys into little girls' restrooms or we're pulling our business is...
Think about that for a second, Nick.
That was awkward.
That was special. And I'm talking about Snowflake special here. This son of a bitch decides to get on live radio and says that if he was given the opportunity as a young man and told that it was okay for little boys to go to little girls' room, that he would walk in there and, quote, get educated. Get educated. Now, what exactly would you be getting educated about? Are we talking about going to the bathroom and peeping on young women? Are we talking about kicking open the stalls and saying, let me see your vagina? No, we can't be talking about that because that would be perverted and that would be unchristian, supposedly for a very Christian individual here. So, excuse me for a moment when I say this. Fuck you, Louis Gohmert. Fuck you. Okay? Fuck you. I'm not voting for you again. I will not be... Hang on. I will not be voting for this motherfucker again. If I ever see Louis Gohmert somewhere, I will punch him in the face. I don't have children, but I do have nieces, and some of them do have children, and if some douche canoe motherfucker like him ever says, well, gee, I sure do wish I could go into the opposite sex's bathroom so that I could get educated, I'm going to kill them. Okay? Texas is open carry. In fact, it's open carry to the point that I will get my concealed carry permit just so I can wear a gun on my hip, and I'm going to walk up to this child molesting son of a bitch and anyone like him and shoot him in the fucking face. I don't like things like that. It kind of pisses me off. I'm not sure if you can tell I'm angry right now, but it pisses me off. It really pisses me off, especially because this douchebag is trying to pass an ordinance to tell people, well, you can't go in the bathroom because you're not allowed to go in there. I'm sorry. I know some transgender individuals, okay? They are 75% more likely to be raped and murdered. It's 75% for rape and murder. And you know where most of those happens? In the goddamn bathroom. Let the people go pee. Don't try and legislate where they can go pee, because, see, here's the funny thing. These assholes are so upset right now at states like Georgia, that's, in North Carolina, because all these businesses are just wanting to pull out, like, oh my God, how could you possibly do that? You have to allow religious freedom. No, this is not religious freedom. Religious freedom is not being able to leave your house because you don't have your husband with you. Religious freedom would be the ability to leave your house because you don't have your husband with you. Religious freedom would be not stealing a loaf of bread or an apple or a wheel of cheese to feed your starving family and not getting your fucking hand cut off. Religious freedom would not be being stoned to death because you happen to be attracted to a man. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Gohmert, and I'm sorry, all assholes like you, you're not being persecuted. You're not having your freedoms taken away. You're being a fucking asshole. That's exactly what you're doing. You're being a dick to other people just because you're in power. Fuck you.
It's also really weird because all the arguments are basically that, well, I would be tempted to be a rapist if this was a law. Or I would be tempted to be a child molester if this was a law. Or it's like, what?
You know what that tells me about a person? Do you really want to know what that tells about a person who says some shit like that? It's like, oh, rape is bad, okay? Murder's bad, okay? Being a pervert is bad, okay? But you know what? If when I was younger I had the opportunity to do it, I would do it. No, fuck you. You would do it right now. You would do it right now. Let's be honest about this. You would do it right now. You are so interested in what's between someone else's legs, you don't even think. And I'm the pervert because I want to allow someone to go into the restroom that they feel most comfortable in? No, I'm sorry. And see, here's the interesting thing. I went to a city commission meeting last night, and I listened to this woman. She has been paralyzed for 25 years. The Americans with Disability Act has been in existence for 30 years. Okay, there's about a 5-year difference here. Okay, I listened to this woman who admitted in front of a room full of about 100 people or so that society looks down on her. Okay, so we have this problem in society. Okay, supposedly Christian individuals are supposed to be nice to people who are in need of help. Okay, and a woman in a wheelchair, sure, in need of help. Okay, a lot of people I know that are disabled get looked down upon. Okay, that's not very Christian, is it? No. So if we're going to treat the disabled people that way, and we're going to treat homosexuals that way, and transgender individuals that way, in fact, everyone else who is not free, white, and 21 that way, then you're not being a Christian, you're being an asshole. You're being an unnecessary dick to someone else just because you can get away with it, just because you want to say, oh, it's persecution. And then when a Muslim says, oh, please don't profile me, I don't want to kill you, ha ha, you can't do that. You're wrong. You're wrong. No, the Muslim's not wrong. You're wrong. You're being an asshole. I'm sorry, but being a racist, being a misogynist, being sexist, being a dickbag in general to other individuals is not what the Republican Party is supposed to stand up for. It's fine to be a conservative. It's fine to want to have a smaller government. In fact, I would love to have a smaller government, but we can't have one. The reality is we're probably going to be stuck with about something like 3 million government employees we have total, and that's including the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, everyone in Congress, everyone in the Senate, every one of the president's cabinet, every government employee. We're only about 3 million people right there, okay? I'm fine with that. I am totally 100% fine with that. What I want is a government that actually works for me and for everyone else, because I'm sorry, I believe in one man, one vote, and I believe in equality, okay? That's what big is. Remember, the most popular Republican president in the world, Abraham Lincoln, freed the slaves. How did he do that? Oh, look at that. He had to twist the laws until they worked for him because it was the right thing to do, even though he used it as a war measure just to win a war. It was the right thing to do. And even Lincoln acknowledges. And Lincoln was an unavowed racist. Lincoln hated black people. He didn't want them in the country. He even told a group of black men, you and I are different. You should be back in Africa. But this man freed the slaves because it was the right thing to do. You have a president like Theodore Roosevelt. What did Roosevelt want to do? Oh, he wanted to preserve the environment so people in the future could have some place to go and see things. Freedom, equality, the ability to travel, the ability to get around. Oh, and let's get down to brass tacks here. Let's look at the final Republican president of the 20th century who was actually worth his shit. And that would be Dwight D. Eisenhower, who had a 90% tax rate. Why did he have a 90% tax rate? Oh, because it causes incentives and it gets businesses to want to stay here. And then the first Democrat to come in office after him, John F. Kennedy, fucked it all over. So I'm sorry. No, Mr. Gohmert, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're an asshole. Okay? You're an asshole. You're a bald, elderly asshole who clings to the fact that you had military service as a lawyer. You are a typical scumbag piece of shit lawyer, and I hope you burn in hell. And I'm an atheist, and I don't even believe in hell, but I hope you go there. In fact, I hope you're the only person in hell. I hope you're there, and it's so lonely that you wish there were other people in the world as wicked as you, so you could talk to them. But the reality is, they're going to be right next to you, but they're not going to be able to see you, because they're going to be blind, and you're going to be blind, you're going to be miserable for fucking ever. And you're going to be on fire, okay? I sincerely hope that you get tortured in hell, which is a place I don't believe in. Fuck you. I'm done with the rant.
Basically, if we can find more evil people, we can convince you that God is real.
No, what I'm saying is...
Just out of a want to send people to hell.
What I'm saying is that I sincerely hope that people like Mr. Gohmert go to hell, and there they find Adolf Hitler. And I hope that Adolf Hitler pees on them and then says, you know what? At least I was an actual Christian. And then they all get raped.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope they get raped. In fact, you know what? You know what? You know what? I don't just hope they get raped. I hope they have to rape one another for all eternity. Yes, I hope they have to have the gayest sex possible for all eternity. I really do. While they're on fire, and while they're blind, and while they can't see one another, it's like, well, how do I get out of here? Oh no! I hope that happens. I sincerely hope it happens. In fact, better yet. You know what? I hope that hell for Louis Gohmert is a room full of nothing but bathrooms, and they're all marked women only. So that way you have to stand there and you have to figure out, is it worth going in the ladies' room to pee because you're such a little bitch, or stand there and look at the doors for all eternity. I can think of some wonderful things to do to Mr. Gohmert. You know that?
Yeah, yeah. You have quite the imagination there.
But actually, you know what the number one thing I'd like to see happen to him is?
But
Getting out of office.
that would be nice.
Anyway, moving
Uh,
on.
uh,
Do you want to talk about Democracy Spring, or have I just completely ruined politics for you for forever?
I wouldn't talk about democracy thing.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit about Democracy Spring. For those of you who don't know what Democracy Spring, actually, better yet, let's back up here. A few months ago, Nick, you and I did an interview with Todd Jagger from Wolfpack, and Todd is, it's just a reminder, Todd is the Texas state leader, and he's also the Western States coordinator for Wolfpack. Wolfpack being the organization started by Cenk Uygur, the Young Turks. They're actually the political arm of the Young Turks, and Wolfpack is dedicated to getting a constitutional amendment to get money out of politics. Essentially, the idea that corporations are people and money is free speech is not something that members of Wolfpack agree with. It's not something that I agree with. So this week, um, in order to protest money in politics, in order to blah, 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 I'm so tongue tied tonight. I'm sorry. I'm still angry. Sorry about that. Anyway, in order to protest money in politics, blah, fuck me. In order to protest, I'll get it out eventually. In order to protest institutionalized racism, in order to in order to protest all of the bad things in the world that essentially come from money in politics, or my new favorite phrase is no longer corrupt governments, and it's no longer that. It's actually uh, insulated electorate. So in order to get rid of the insulated electorate that we have, there are protests going on in Washington, in D.C. right now. They're at the Capitol. They've been there since Monday. They're continuing at least until tomorrow, and it's called Democracy Spring. Now on Monday, uh, when it started, they walked from Philadelphia to D.C. On foot. Yes, they walked. Um, and there were about 600 to 650 people who were arrested that day. Democracy Spring is being called the largest single act of civil disobedience in United States history, and that is not to demean the civil rights acts of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's just this is the largest single act of civil disobedience in American history. There's currently upwards of 1,000 people who have been arrested, including Cenk Uygur himself. And the image on screen right now that you're seeing is actually a woman who was at Monday's rally. In fact, you can see Cenk Uygur on the steps there in the TY t-shirt. But the woman that you're seeing from behind is dressed, of course, as Lady Liberty, and she has had her hands tied with zip ties because this is what democracy looks like in your country. This is what it looks like when you have politicians who are bought and no longer speak for you. Well, this is right here, this shit right here, what you're seeing on screen right now. In fact, everything that I said about Louis Gohmert, that's also what you hear. That's also what you have when you have politicians who are bought and paid for, because Gohmert doesn't speak for himself anymore. He speaks for whoever gives him the most money to speak.
Yeah, the most interesting thing is it's not on the news.
No,
Like,
it is
have
not on
you
the news.
seen?
Well, apparently, it has been shown on MSNBC. Now, if MSNBC is showing it, that's cool. That's awesome. I'm all in favor of that. But apparently, no one else can bother to cover this. In fact, the only thing close to this that I remember seeing, and I'm talking about large crowds in one place, was actually Bernie Sanders' rally in the Bronx yesterday. He had over 30,000 people there. I think that is the closest thing to this that I can imagine. But no, the protests in Washington are not getting mainstream news media coverage.
Well, it reminds me a lot of the when the riots in Baltimore were happening. There was very large protests that happened, but none of that was covered. The only thing that was covered were the riots. Like, I and this is also very common in DC. There's lots of protests that happen that just don't get any coverage at all. It's really weird.
And see, it's weird because, like I said, this has been going on since Monday. Okay, it's been going on since Monday. Every day outside the U.S. Capitol. Every day, people getting arrested. Every day, and it's not being covered. And like for example, the Ferguson riots. Well, they covered the shit out of that. You couldn't watch the news for a month and not hear the word Ferguson come up. But the problem was you didn't actually see um, the protest. You didn't actually see anything that led up to it. In fact, all you saw was the riots. And oh, look at that! They're thugs. They're looting. Ha ha ha! That's what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, it's just completely ignored why people were angry or why they were doing these things or any of the good that could have come from the situation or any discussion at all about what was going on. It was just turning a complete blind eye. I know I have friends who in the disabled community have protested in Washington before, and they, stood outside the Capitol and tried to make a picket line or something. Uh, and there was no news coverage. None. Nothing. It was just zero.
It it bothers me. Like it bothers me more than anything. I mean, I understand, not wanting to cover some of this because it can be controversial. But no, the reality is it's not controversial. Like there is no excuse for not covering what's going on, and the reason there's no excuse for it, or actually there shouldn't be an excuse for it, is because what it is that every major news company in the United States is owned by about five different organizations. Like Disney owns one of them. Like Disney owns a lot of people. They own a lot of people. So they're able to completely control what you see and what you don't see, and that's what's going on with Democracy Spring. So here, like I said, here it is. We have the largest act of civil disobedience in U.S. history, and you're not seeing anything about it, and you won't see anything about it, and that's not okay. That should not be okay to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a complete failure of what the news media is supposed to do. It's supposed to report these stories. These are real stories, um, far more important than anything to do with celebrities or movies or stupid little arguments. The presidential candidates are not. These are important things that need to be covered.
It's almost as much of a failure, and it's not that I don't want to keep talking about this. I would love to. It's just that we have so much to cover, and I've ranted so much. I'm sorry. Um, but it's almost as much of a failure as the Nostalrius progressive vanilla server. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, Nostalrius had upwards of 500,000 people who were playing on the server. They had 150,000 active people when it went down. So for those of you who don't know what the fuck Nostalrius is, if you've seen anyone who has been going to vanilla WoW zones or doing vanilla WoW raids lately, and it's a new video, and it's not something that was recorded, with like shitty cameras like a decade ago, this is what they were doing. Like a lot of big time YouTubers who stream currently stream. I'm not gonna name names because I don't want to get them in trouble because they do have active World of Warcraft accounts. They were playing on Nostalrius. This was a throwback. In fact, it's nostalgic. Nostalrius, nostalgia. Anyway, it was a throwback to vanilla, and they did not use the new character models. You could not use new mounts. You can't even fly in any zone except by flight path. And it's been around for a while, and they were just introducing Naxxramas to the server when they got the takedown order from Blizzard. Now, um, the question was posed to me. Actually, it was posed to us on our Facebook page. Are we supposed to reward these 150,000 criminals? So I'm gonna go ahead and answer this before you say anything, Nick. I don't think they're criminals. Okay, and I understand. Yes, they're playing a copyrighted game. Yes, it's essentially theft from Blizzard Entertainment. But here's the thing: Nostalrius was able to be around for so long because it took a very long time for Blizzard to prove they actually owned this game. Okay? The current World of Warcraft game no longer contains the majority of content that was in this. For example, the original Naxxramas, all the original dungeons are gone. Magni was still around. Like everything that was in Vanilla WoW was here. Okay? So Blizzard, even though it was copyrighted, even though it clearly said it was a Blizzard game, Blizzard had to prove that they actually owned it. And essentially, what it was a I'm trying to think of the word here. Um, it's one of the things like when you own an idea. It's basically what Blizzard had intellectual copyright. That's basically what Blizzard had to prove that this was, and they managed to do it. And so the Nostalgia server was given the takedown order, and they shut down. I've seen the videos. A lot of people filmed it. Filmed the servers went down, and it made me cry. Not made me cry because it was sad to see this shut down. It made me cry because this is what cities used to look like. Like Nick, when you and I started playing, like capital cities had a lot of people in them. This is what it looked like. People everywhere. It was beautiful, and I really missed it. And it made me and because like um um the Scourge ziggurats and stuff were floating in the sky above like Ironforge and stuff like that. I missed that. And now even though we only saw that for the Wrath launch, I missed it. I missed things like that, and it really made me remember a lot of how the game used to be. So I completely understand, these 150 or so active people and them being upset. So that's why I don't think they're criminals. I think generally what they were doing was playing the game that they wanted to play. And if you've looked at Blizzard's Twitter feed, their Facebook page, basically anywhere, you can find people saying, "Hey, can we please have like a vanilla WoW server?" They've been asking it for years. I mean, like I remember back around the time that Cataclysm came out is when I first remember seeing it. Because it's like, oh look, you fucked up the world. Can we please, have just one server where we can all go back to vanilla content or BC content? And Blizzard's defense is that it would be too hard. Well, Nostalrius is proof that it is not hard to do.
Alright, are you done?
Yeah, well, I can keep going, but I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna let you talk because I have talked way too much this episode.
Okay. Um, I'll put it like this. I understand why people want to play on the classic server. I understand why people are upset it's being shut down, and I can sympathize with that. But the simple fact of the matter is that Blizzard has every right to shut down the server. And they actually have a good reason to, even though it's not the one they're publicly stating. Um, when you make an old server, or it's basically they're making a separate version of the game. And the strength of World of Warcraft has always been the community and keeping the community together. And what Blizzard is worried about is if they start making these alternate servers, if they start making a classic server, a Burning Crusade server, a Wrath of the Lich King server, no one's going to want a Cataclysm server, maybe a Mist of Pandaria server. If you start making these different servers, you're actually going to end up splitting the community. Because some people will be playing the new things, some people will be playing the old things, and it's not good for the community if they're split like that. I understand, Warlords of Draenor is basically a Farmville game, and everyone's really disappointed with it, and that's even more of a reason why we want to go back and play the old games. I would love to play on the Rapidus Team server. I would be thrilled to play on one. But at the same time, I know that if that were to happen, it's going to create a lot of problems. Because you're going to be having playing the new game, you're going to be playing people not wanting to buy the new game at all, because they already have what they want. And there's no reason for them to try something new. There's no reason for them to try something out. And it's just really one of these odd kind of things where when people get what they want, it's not always a good thing or what they think will be a good thing. It doesn't always turn out how people imagine it will be. I mean, think about the numbers on that server. There were 500,000 accounts, 150,000 active players. Those are people that aren't playing World of Warcraft right now as it is. I know a lot of people will say, well, we weren't going to play it anyway. That's not really true. I would say at least a good chunk of those people will be going back to the WoW servers. Maybe not now, maybe in a month or two, who knows when. But eventually, if you love the game like you do, eventually you're gonna come back to it. That's always been what's kept World of Warcraft strong.
But see, that's where the draw of Nostalrius actually is. Um, I know a lot of people who maintain current WoW accounts and still play and still played rather on Nostalrius because that was the draw. It was the fact that you could uh, have a chance to experience the game like it used to be. And it used to, like, for example, to get to like level 20, 30, whatever it is, used to take, several weeks to do it, depending on how, uh, fast you were able to level. And that's what people wanted. They wanted, to be able to play the game where it feels like they've actually earned something. And I'm sorry, but Warlords of Draenor is actually a huge disappointment. It's a gigantic disappointment. And from
Oh
what I've
yeah,
seen on the alpha, or at least of the alpha rather, which is strange by the way, because apparently um, we're still like Blizzard is still in closed alpha for Warlords. It's not in beta yet. There is literally nothing beyond level like 106. I mean, you can't even get to max level yet. So with the Warcraft movie coming out in just like 2 or 3 months away, like May, June, like whatever it is, we're a little over 2 months from now, and the expansion's supposedly coming out on the heels of that. So we're looking at July, maybe July, August, somewhere around there, but sometime before the beginning of September. So we're looking, the movie coming out in May. I mean, I'm sorry, June. So we're gonna have late June, July, or August. Like we're looking at a 3 month period here. Okay, so that it's not that far away when you think about it. I mean, we're looking at 5 months here, and usually Blizzard will keep uh, beta testing going for that long. There's usually 3 to 5 months there. So at some point in time, they're going to have to stop with the alpha bullshit and switch over to beta testing. But everything going on in the alpha testing right now, which a lot of people are getting to play, is exactly like Warlords of Draenor. Like it's become a Farmville game. And you can say all that bullshit you want to about Blizzard's so proud of their community. The reality is that Blizzard is choking the life out of their communities. You can now do essentially the exact same thing on a character without being a guild that you can in one. Okay, like for example, the guild, that we're in, the one that I lead on our server. I have had a lot of people say they would love to join a guild, but they don't have a reason to, and that's exactly what it is. They don't have a reason.
I would almost say this is like an act of civil disobedience against Blizzard, which would be, it's an interesting perspective to look at it from that way. And I completely understand why people are doing it. And like I said, Warlords of Draenor, like, as you know, I've barely played World of Warcraft for a long time. And I love World of Warcraft. I really do. It's a great game. Or it has been a great game for a while at least. Um, but it's just, I don't like the direction we've been going in, obviously. Just their gameplay style. Like you said earlier, it seems like you're just handed to you constantly. It doesn't feel like you're earning anything really. And that's why a lot of people, when they go back to Classic or Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King, we've had to work really, really hard to get what we wanted there. You had to work with other people. You had to form guilds. You had to form raids. You had to form strong communities and strong ties in order to overcome the challenges that Blizzard presented to us. And I still, I'm not gonna say Blizzard was in the wrong for taking down the server, but I think it's really important for them to recognize why people are going to this is not just a little thing. And this is just this is something they can ignore or brush to the side. This is something they need to really take a good look at and question what's going on with their game and what people really want. Because after Listing had over 10 million subscribers, and now we are down to 7, 6 million, something like that.
It's so low that Blizzard won't even give a number. In fact, they have specifically stated in one of their last quarter updates they're no longer going to even go by subscriber numbers, which tells you the game is in serious, serious, serious trouble. And the fact that
Well, hold on. I would even go so hard to say is Blizzard has finally, or World of Warcraft is, if it's not been surpassed by, it is finally being surpassed by another MMO. Another one for that I've actually been playing, which is Final Fantasy 14. And it reminds me a lot of the old World of Warcraft style. You have to work hard, you have to grind, you have to earn your way through the game. And if you don't, well, then you're not gonna get anything done. And you have to work with other people and rely on their skills and, form
and
groups and
see
things like
that's
that.
exactly what Nostalrius offered. It offered the ability to surprise have a community. The fact that, look,
Oh
you
yeah,
actually, if you wanted to do anything, like really do anything outside of questing, you had to have other people. You didn't sit,
yeah, no,
20 minutes a
I'm
day
not.
clicking shit in your garrison. That's what I do all day, every day. Like, I've had to go back to leveling characters and then stopping and doing other stupid bullshit just to have an excuse to get on the goddamn game. Okay? Like, I would love the chance to go back and play something like this. And that's why I like the idea of these private servers like that. And I think if Blizzard were to say, look, we'll buy you out or whatever, just, stop ripping us off and would actually incorporate this into the game, they would bring people back. There are a lot of people who have said, and they've quit specifically because the game is no longer fun. It's just a system of welfare epics, and you get all the free shit in the world you want to. All you have to do is drag and drop shit. It's like playing goddamn Farmville. There are
But
people,
see,
there are people who would come back for $15 a month to play this and
no,
actually
no, no.
build a
I,
community.
I, I get that, but see, the problem is you're not fixing the problem by doing that. And Blizzard is right here. Making the old servers is not going to fix the problem that's happening with WoW. It's not. People might go
But it
back and
will.
play for
It
a year.
will. It
No, no,
will.
no, no,
Look,
no. It
look, look,
won't
look,
fix
look.
the
Here's
newest method. It
here's
won't
the thing.
fix the newest
Here's the
method.
thing. Nostalrius at
It
any given
won't
time,
fix the
the
newest method.
Nostalrius at any given time had 500,000 people. Okay, they had 500,000 people saying, "Look, this is the game we want. This is the game we want." Okay, that's 500,000 people. Okay, now compare that to the millions of people. Like, for example, WoW is probably hovering at around 5 million people, okay? At its peak, it was 12.5 million people. So you're looking at nearly a 6 million person difference here, and those numbers are dropping because there is no actual change in sight for World of Warcraft. It's essentially a free to play game at this point in time. It's just Blizzard still charging you, and there is nothing keeping people playing it except doing old content. Like, I mean, in fact, one of the current challenges now, and I know about 5 people doing this, is the million gold challenge because gold is so easy to get. You and I come from the days when, like, 1 gold would last your ass from level 1 until level fucking 40. Okay, like it was a lot of money. Okay, but now 1 gold is nothing. You get 1 gold by the time you're level 10. Okay, gold is easy to get, so people are going and doing this shit. Like, it's kind of like the Iron Man challenge, which I've been slacking off on doing myself. It's the idea of something actually being hard, actually being a challenge to the game. You being able to get a sense of accomplishment from the game. Okay, Blizzard could do that. They could do that. They could very, very easily do that. In fact, a lot of the people who are still paying to play the game right now, that's why they're doing it, is so they can do these things, so they can actually
Yeah,
have some fun
I,
with the game that they used to love. I used to love it. I still love it. It's still my favorite game. But I'm sorry, I'm finding less and less and less of a reason to even play the fucking game anymore. And if Legion is exactly like it's turning out to be on the alpha, I'm sorry, Blizzard, but I'm going to go find another game. I'm going to go find something else to spend my time and money on because it just doesn't interest me anymore. It's boring. I don't like the idea of sitting in my garrison and doing this and this and this. Like this, like for example, this past month or so. Okay, I reached the highest amount of gold I've ever had, which is about 350,000 gold. Okay, there are 2 people I know right now who got gold capped this expansion. This expansion. Like, they spent all their gold before this, before WoD launches, and they got gold capped this expansion. Now, I spent, the vast majority of the gold that I earned this expansion and I've earned it back twice. Twice in a month. That's boring to me. I don't care about that. Gold is gold. I'm able to get gold. That's fine. So they're taking away the gold missions in Legion. Okay, that's fine. I don't give a shit. I've still got like 50 characters that I can do this stuff on and still make money. I don't care about making the gold anymore. I don't want it to be easy. I don't want to run LFR and get all the free shit in the world. I don't want to run LFR and get a legendary. I've already done that. Give me a new challenge. Give me a challenge like even the Lich King. And you remember I bitched so much because I was able to look at the abilities of the Lich King and pick the fight apart. I want to be able to do that again. I want to go back to the days where it took at least a week to get a world first kill on a boss because it was actually difficult. It was actually difficult. I don't like the idea of the final in-game boss being fucking Archimond and you being able to reset him and kill him. Okay? I don't like the fact that people are charging 50,000 gold just to get you a quest item and the free loot from there that you don't need. I don't like that. No one likes that. That is boring to me. That is stupid to me. And the argument that, oh, look at me, we're Blizzard, we own this game, we're going to shut you down. No. Nostalrius was 150,000 people saying no in one voice. No. This is the game we want. This is the game you're supposed to promise us. In fact, Legion is being built upon previous tiers of content. And it's like, look, we're going to build on our beautiful world. It's so wonderful. It'll be new. It'll be exciting. No. No. You start off the goddamn game with an instanced area where all of a sudden an NPC shows up who's able to help you. And then look, you get your ass kicked by the superior army. And then what you do is you retreat to a new base of operations and you do a few quests here and then you're able to suddenly wield an army, okay? It's basically Garrisons 2.0. You're getting followers, you're getting like ships in the name, like for example the Warlocks, okay? The Warlocks will be recruiting followers. That's cool. That's wonderful, okay? But that's your followers for Warlocks. But except they're called champions. Haha, same thing. Same goddamn thing. The ships for Warlocks is like little armies of imps you can send out. So you can send a champion, and you can send out your minions or whatever the fuck they are. I don't even keep track of this shit anymore. It's so stupid, okay? And then to do this, you get to open the quest to go get your legendary weapon, okay? And it's not to get the original one because you get that in the initial quest line. It's to get the secondary version of it. So you have to do the drag and drop bullshit, for like an hour and a half in order to get the ability to go get your secondary weapon. And it's stupid. I'm sorry. I have no interest in that. I have so little interest in it that I have figured out that there actually is a way to skip the entrance to Draenor. You can actually kind of go around that because you can fly in Draenor now. All you have to do is get to Ashran, and then you fly to where your garrison is. You can skip the intro. Eventually, someone will figure out how to skip the intro for Legion, okay? It's that boring. It's that repetitive. No one gives a shit. It's freebies left and right. I'm tired of it. You're tired of it because I've heard you bitch about it. You and I have had conversations before about World of Warcraft and its current state. It's boring as shit. This is 150,000 people saying, look, give us the game we want. You want the community? Here's the opportunity. Pick a fucking server and say, look, this is only vanilla, this is only BC, this is only Wrath. You can do all the content in between, and that's cool. People would come back to the game for that. It is that much of a draw because they've lost millions of people for that reason, for not giving them that one thing. Now, we're talking about a community of gamers here who bitch when they get what they want. But think about this. If Blizzard truly wants to make money off this 10-year-old game, almost 11-year-old game, do something like that. Do something actually big, something worthwhile, not giving us the same stupid bullshit and saying, here you go, it's got a new coat of paint. No, you can only polish a turd so much, and that's what Blizzard's doing.
And okay, I get everything you're saying, but at the same time, I'm not ready to say that World of Warcraft is dead yet, or should be dead yet, or that we should consider it dead yet. Because that's what it seems like a lot of people are thinking when they talk about how they need to bring back the old servers. They're basically saying that the new games are just trash. They're always going to be trash. They have no hope of them ever getting better. So let's just say fuck it and go back to the old servers. I don't think that's true. Now, granted, maybe Legion will fight Blizzard back and they'll get back to the old way of making things, or at least that's my naive hope. But the main thing I'm trying to say here is that you can't. It's a temporary patch. Okay, they bring back the old servers. We play them for a year. We're all happy and giddy. They're like, oh, I remember how hard this boss is. It's like, oh, be careful. Blah 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 blah. And we play it for a year. And then you know what? What happens when you go back to something nostalgic? You get tired of it, and you stop playing, and then there will be nothing left. That there's nothing left because you have no interest in the new content. You're tired of the old content because you have now literally played it twice over. It's, it's not going to take Blizzard. It will make them a
But
shit
see,
ton
but
of
see,
money for about a
that's where the
year.
fun is.
No, no,
That's
wait,
where
wait,
the
wait,
fun
wait, wait,
actually
wait,
is.
wait.
Think about it this
No,
way. Think about it this way.
no, wait. Hold on. It will make them a shit ton. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun for like a year, maybe 2 years even. But guess what? After that, I'm not going to play it anymore. I'm sorry. I don't want to go back and play the old content and relive going through After the Lich King and Classic and Burning Crusade. I really don't. I want the challenge from them. I want the difficulty. I want to earn my way like I have to do back then. I want those attributes from back the old server and the old expansions and the old games. But I don't want to play the same story over again. I want to experience the new content. I want to experience the new content in the way I did back then. That's what I want. That's what Blizzard wants, whether they realize it or not, whether they get their shit together or not, because they clearly need to get their shit together. This is not an excuse for Blizzard or saying that they're in the right with their game design or any of that stuff. It's just I understand why they feel they need to shut down the server or that they can't open the old server because it's just a temporary fix. And they want World of Warcraft to keep going. They want at least what 3 more expansions, if I remember right, including Legion, or is it 4 more? I can't remember. They don't think the game is dead yet, and it
But
is
see,
an
but see,
old
but
game. It's
see, hey,
going to be,
that's why
but
you do
you
something like this. Okay, now the reason I
yeah, you
mentioned,
do something like this
hang
when
on a
you
second,
find wait. You do something like this when the game is dead. When they finally say, okay, we're gonna stop making these things. Like the story is done for World of Warcraft. We're gonna work on Warcraft 4 or whatever. That's when you open the old servers up. You don't do it now. Doing it now is a mistake. I'm sorry. It's just true. I know everyone wants it because they're bored as hell, because they're tired of fucking Warlords of Draenor, and Legion if what you are saying is true, which I say to God is not, no one's going to want to play Legion either. So yeah, we want to play the old servers because we're tired of the bullshit. I get that. But like I said, it's not going to fix the game. It's just a temporary fix. And I want a more permanent fix. I want them to fix the new expansion. I want them to get it right. I want a challenge. I want to have to struggle some. I want to have to earn it. I want to have to work with other people. That's what I want. And I'm sorry, but Nostalrius is not going to do that. It's not going to fix the new expansion. It's not. It's an act of civil disobedience. Like you said, if 150,000 people, or no, 500,000 people depending on your perspective, of saying, no, this is what we want. And I completely respect that. I completely understand what you're saying. And I completely agree with them. I do. But it's not a solution to the problem. It's not going to fix World of Warcraft.
But see, that's exactly why it is the solution. So think about it this way. Nostalrius' success and the reason it lasted for so long is that they actually did gate the content. When it was originally released, you could get to level 60, but you were limited to launch only content. They added in Onyxia's Lair, like after a while, like the original Onyxia. They added in Blackwing Lair. Everything else was added in over time. In fact, they were in the process of adding in Naxxramas when the takedown order was issued. Okay, they gated the content. They allowed people the chance to experience the game, to level in the game,
That,
for it
that's fine, but like I
do all.
said, it's only going
Hang on. They
it's
allowed
only
you,
going to last you a year or two. It's only going to last
well,
you a
here's the
year or
thing.
two.
Nostalrius has been around for about 2 years now, which is about how long vanilla was. Okay, so what they did is, like I said, they gated the content. It was like playing vanilla all over again. Okay, you had to take, you had all the time to level. You had all the original zones. You had all the original stuff. Okay, even the Paladin mount quest was in the game, which I miss doing so much. Um, all of this stuff was there. So it presented these people the opportunity to not only relive the game, but to re experience it in the exact same way. And it gave them the chance to open the gates of Encourage. It gave them the chance to fight off the waves upon waves of Scourge. It gave them the chance to do all of the fun things that we used to do in the game again. Okay? So what Blizzard could do is say, look, we're going to pick a single server or make a brand new one, whatever they want to do, and we're going to say, look, this is going to be vanilla content only, okay? You're going to be XP capped at 60 permanently. That's fine because they allow you to XP cap as it is. You've been able to do that since Wrath, for God's sake. So you can cap your experience points and do whatever the fuck you want to in the game, okay? We're just going to say, look, this is a server. You can only go to level 60, okay? Which means, in fact, they could even add a Death Knight in. That would be fine if they had a Death Knight in. You know, no one would be upset about that, I think, because, everyone wants to have a Death Knight. Whatever you want to do, allow all the classes you have right now. Just give someone the fucking option to say, look, I want to try this out. I want to actually try something and do that. Like I said, it's the same draw for doing the Iron Man challenge. It's a process. You have to actually take time and make an effort at actually accomplishing something in the game. So that's going to be a draw. There are a lot of people who will say, okay, I'm going to try this. Okay? And eventually you're going to get enough people that they're going to say, look, we're going to band together. We're going to stick through this shit and we're going to actually accomplish this stuff. We're going to raid this. Like you're going to have 40-man raid groups or whatever, and you're going to down this content. Okay? That would be a huge draw. Now you can say, but, that's going to pull away from the current content. Yes and no. Now here's the thing. Okay? If you do this and you gate the content, that means that Blizzard has more time to actually work on what they want to be for current content. Like, for example, if they had done this at the start of Warlords of Draenor, they would have had more time to finish the content. In fact, we could have gotten all of the things that we should have had in the game if they had taken more time, because Blizzard consistently has said that they want to give you the best product they possibly can, but it's rushed as fuck. That's what they're doing. They're just making the stuff and throwing it at you because they don't know what to do anymore. They have worked themselves into such this corner so tightly that there's no other option but just to keep throwing you the same shit over and over again and hoping it will appease the customer base. And it's not working. Do something different. Take an actual step back and say, look, here's you a vanilla server, you can only go to 60. Here's you a BC server, You can only go to 70. Here's you a Wrath one, a Cataclysm one, a Mr. Pandaria one. Whatever they want to do, just give people that option. Give them something else to do, so that they're not stuck with this basic game like Farmville. Give them the option to actually play the game and experience it. Okay, there's a lot of people who are playing right now who never did the original Dead Mines, who never did all the stuff that used to be in the game, and that's something that I think would actually help. Okay, and the reason I think it would help is when you think about the game today, everyone's so used to getting everything left and right. Like everyone's so used to going to the garrison, getting this, getting that, da, da, da. Give people the option to actually do something fun. It's not going to hurt anything. Now, yes, it could be a band-aid. I admit that, but if you think
It
about
is
like
a
like
band-aid.
but like if you actually think about the idea here of saying, look, we're going to give you the option to go back and do something, you know, something that's going to take you some time, going to take you some effort. Some people aren't going to enjoy doing it, but there are going to be people who will want to do it. They will want to level a character that way. They will want to get into a guild and actually have to go and ask for help with something. There's going to be people who are going to want to do that. That's fine. That's dandy. It's going to be awesome because it's a draw. And if they're able to get 150,000 people who want to do just vanilla content, that's 150,000 people. $15 a month each. Okay. Now let's say they get the same amount for uh, uh, a BC server, for a Wrath one, whatever else they want to add in. Think about that. There is a draw there. If it and if they're able to maintain that, which I guarantee you they could, because a lot of people, especially the older players, the returning players who are going to want to come back and take part in this, enjoy that content more. So they're going to have an actual reason to come back because no one wants to come play a boring game where you can get to 100 in a day. I'm sorry, but that's tiresome. And, and it's boring and it's tedious to do that shit over and over and over again, no matter whatever supposed benefits there are, because there's very little benefits. And the reality is that people are tired of that. They're tired of this. They've been tired of it. In fact, I remember, you may remember this too, Nick, when tokens were introduced in World of Warcraft during Burning Crusade. You could just go buy token gear. Yay! You instantaneously get to skip a whole tier of raiding in Karazhan and raids like that because you could just go buy your gear that was the equivalent of it. So when they added in Sunwell, they said, look, here's your other option. Here's you a heroic. The first heroic in the game, and it was damn difficult to do. It was damn difficult to do it. Okay? But it put you on par with a raid. It was a heroic that was on par with the raid. That's what the game is missing right now. Heroics right now aren't anything. Mythics right now are they're a little trying depending on how aware your group is, but they're not hard to do at all. They're kind of boring. There's next to no challenge in the game. So do something like this. Give people a challenge. Give them a chance. For God's sake, just say, look, here, go run old content. We promise we will do some cool shit. Doing something like this would actually give Blizzard the chance to actually improve the game. And that's what the game needs. Now, I'm not saying World of Warcraft is dead. I'm just saying it's treading water at this point in time. And if Blizzard does not do something big, not just introduce the new expansion, not kill off major lore characters like they're going to do, if they don't do something big, the game's fucked. It's dead. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be Farmville on a massive scale.
Yeah. I don't think putting the old servers in is it. I don't. It's a band-aid. That's all it is. And they're gonna milk the band-aid for as long as they can. And then they'll do classics for a while. And then the year after that, they'll do Burning Crusade. And then 2, 3 years after that, they'll introduce Black Widow 2. And guess what? It's not gonna fix any of the new content.
I
It's
think
not. They're
Nick,
gonna
Nick,
keep
Nick.
up with
Not to
the
interrupt you,
Fargo
but I
thing.
think at this point in time, I think you and I are riding a Forsaken Warhorse. It's dead.
Are you sure we've earned it?
Am I what?
Are you sure it's completely dead?
We seem to be making the same arguments over and over again. So yeah, it's pretty much dead. So let's switch here and talk about oh I don't know, the still shot that was released from the live action Ghost in the Shell movie with our favorite Black Widow ever, Scarlett Johansson.
Isn't she kind of the only Black Widow ever?
Um, I'm gonna go with yes.
I'm not saying I don't like her. She's also the only Black Widow. There's no comparison. Oh yeah, it looks okay, I guess. Um, I'm not super excited yet. I'd like to see a trailer first before I try to get excited about this. But it looks okay. And I, I don't know. Uh, what are you? What are your thoughts?
Um, I'm not excited.
Yeah, I can't believe the general reaction I've gotten from people. I see a lot of people complaining that they're getting Asian Japanese actors. Which I get. And yeah, it seems like it could be a Japanese actress who's going to have her in Japan doing the Ghost in the Shell story. Unless they completely change it and put it in America. And I suppose that makes some sense. But yeah, I just, I'm kind of very mad about it. Just, eh.
Okay, look, I'll be honest with you. Okay, I'm a Ghost in the Shell fan. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I've liked all Ghost in the Shells, even the new series, which I need to finish watching. It doesn't need to be live action. I'm sorry. It doesn't need to be live action. It's like Akira. Um, if you make Akira live action, you're gonna fuck it up. I'm sorry, and I'm
I've
saying that
actually
because
seen a
I'm
really,
saying I'm not,
I actually saw a really good fan-made live action of Akira. It was absolutely beautiful. But for some reason, Hollywood does not, they can't figure out how to do this. It's really confusing
I
why.
know. I know they can't figure out how to do it. And that's going to be the problem. They're going to do this and it's going to be a failure. It's going to suck. I'm sorry. But seeing as Scarlett Johansson in this image, it I really don't see Motoko Kusanagi. I'm sorry, I don't. Sure, she's in a leather jacket. Sure, she has, the haircut, but it doesn't look like Motoko, and it's just not interesting to me. I just can't get behind this.
I there's a really strange thing with Scarlett Johansson and action movies. That they haven't been really good outside of Black Widow. And I think the only really good action movie she could do is with Black Widow. It's, I don't know why, but
Yeah, well, I mean, like it's not that I'm uninterested in seeing the movie. I'm sure I'll give it a watch it, but I kind of think it'll be like Dragon Ball. You know, you get your hopes up for, yes, they're actually recreating the anime series, and then no, you just no. It's kind of like people are saying about, for example, uh, Dawn of Justice. I'm so excited, all the hype of the world. No, you know, like I had this feeling that that's exactly what Ghost in the Shell is going to be as live action. Yes, yes, it no. Just yes. Somebody think no. And I don't want to be disappointed by something dealing with Ghost in the Shell. I don't want to be disappointed. And I have a feeling I'm going to be sorely disappointed.
I yeah, I mean, I just don't have any high expectations for this at all. Like it it it, it's just I'm not excited. I'm completely unexcited.
I I I don't know. I mean,
I
like,
the only really good live action movie I've ever seen was Rurouni Kenshin, and it was made in Japan by people that love this content, and it was cool. It was great. It was fun because it stuck to the story and the characters, and they tried to recreate pretty much everything that they could as well as they could. That has been the only really great anime to live action thing that I've ever seen.
well, see, okay, look, here's the thing about Rurouni Kenshin. It's not that difficult to translate to live action. Haha. You don't have robots, you don't have cyborgs, you don't have giant tentacle baby rape monsters. Like you don't have all this stuff. Like you now, no, I know that Ghost in the Shell does not have that, but Ghost in the Shell does have a lot of robots. It does have a lot of sci-fi stuff. Go watch the fucking movie, for God's sakes. Go watch it. Please go watch it. Please go watch Akira. Just go watch it. You know, but the reality is that stuff will not translate to being a live action movie. They're going to have to CGI things, and Hollywood is either really really good with CGI or no. And uh, okay, just imagine this, okay? Just imagine it's the scene in Akira, where you have the giant tentacle baby rape monster thing, and it's raising up, and it's about to destroy Neo Tokyo, and you look at it and you're like, oh, that's totally CGI. I can see the green screen. And it's not like um it won't be as bad as, say, for example, the third Hobbit movie, where you realize it's green screen. It won't be that bad. It will be Scorpion King bad. It's like, yes, amazing, awesome. No, you just no. Stop right there. Just no. Stop with the shit. Just leave the theater at that point in time. That's exactly what I fear it will be, because it's like, goddamn, we're talking about a movie that was all hand drawn for content. It's beautifully done. I mean, like layers upon layers of animation cells. Like there is shit in the background that's moving, and it was all hand drawn. It's wonderful. You're gonna make that CGI? No. You're no. Stop right there, Hollywood. You just stop trying to recreate anime. And the interesting thing is, you can recreate anime with anime, because Adult Swim was actually able to get a second second season of Fooly Cooly. I'm excited for that. That's gonna be awesome. And like you can
I'm really
recreate
excited
and
for that.
and you can recreate Mobile Suit Gundam in anime. Now, actually, Gundam might translate well to live action. Might. I did say might. I didn't say did. I did say might. But the reality is, Ghost in the Shell, kind of iffy. It's going to be just like the Eon Flux one was. I was uninterested. I didn't care. Rurouni Kenshin, I bet you it's awesome, because that's actually easy to translate. There's not much really 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 super weird shit in there. It's like mostly a samurai with a sword. You know that you can do. That works. But this, I'm kind of iffy on, and she looks like Aeon Flux in this picture. That's really what I see. It's like, oh, look, originally you had Charlize Theron doing her, and now you have Scarlett Johansson. Just no, Hollywood, no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's going to be a bag of
Is
dick
that
bags. It's going to be a bag of dick bags.
yeah, that sounds about as appealing as to me.
No, wait, better yet,
Should we end that as our bad note?
better yet, it will not be a bag of dick bags. It will be an insulated electorate of dick bags.
The modern American government system. Should
Yeah.
that be our depressing note to end on?
Do what?
Are we gonna end on that depressing note here?
Yeah, I think we should just end on the depressing note. I mean, you kind of like ending on depressing topics for some reason. I secretly think it's because you are a masochist or a sadist, maybe. But in fact, you're like the living embodiment of sadomasochism.
I would be a sadist. I would be a sadist because I'm bringing pain to everyone,
Yes,
including
you're
you.
just terrible, terrible pain. Like you're making us all suffer. Nick, you know what you are?
What?
You are the robot Christian Grey.
I, no, God,
Yes, yes, you are
no.
robot Christian Grey. You are poorly written fan fiction, and you're a robot. So yeah, yeah. And
To make
on
me a
one hand,
robot so that you can make ghosts in the
it's like
That-
option
You
one
just want
is
to make
Christian
me.
Grey.
You want an
Option two is
actual good
robot Christian
Ghost
Grey.
in the Shell movie. This is all a plot so that you can make me into a live action version of Ghost in the Shell. That's what this is.
Actually, it's a plot so I can sell more toys of you. But anyway, that's gonna be it. I think I already did the subscribe thing, so we'll talk to you on Monday, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. It depends on, I guess, my schedule and your schedule. Because I promise our main topic or main topics, rather, we're gonna be awesome. So yeah, let us know what you thought of it. Actually, real question here. Let us know what you think about Nostalrius shutting down, and your thoughts on World of Warcraft, and your thoughts on Louis Gohmert being a dickbag, and Nick being a robot, and for serious, Christian Grey or robot Christian Grey. We want to know.
No, we don't, because I I, I won't accept either
Shut up,
one.
Nick.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.